All right. Well, our first topic today is a brand new, well, I guess a potentially brand new Fable game from Microsoft that Eurogamer leaked in an article a few days ago. So basically, they confirmed through various sources that Microsoft has decided to revitalize the Fable franchise and kind of, bring it back from the dead, but they're going to be doing it at uh, Playground Studios, which is a developer that's basically only known for the Forza Horizon series. Kind of an interesting choice. This is a game that obviously was found and made at Lionhead Studios, which was shut down less than 2 years ago. So to take a game in a franchise and kill off an entire studio, basically fire, or I mean maybe move around all those employees, and then less than 2 years later say, oh yeah, that thing that you guys, those games you guys have been working on forever and ever and ever, yeah, we're gonna bring that back, but we're gonna give it to somebody else. It's just that's really mind-boggling to me. But also a little bit exciting to see what like a new studio could do with the Fable series. So I don't know, Ryan, what do you think about that?
Yeah, so I played the original Fable.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't complete it, but I played the original Fable. So I kind of understand that whole the people who are fans of it, they're all about the whole encompassing part of the game, the immersion, the music,
Right.
the humor, all that kind of
Right.
stuff.
The quirky British humor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so there's this whole precedent that's already been set for this kind of game, and
Right.
it was a very popular game. It has
Yeah.
a very big following. So um, it's it's interesting that it's going to be going to a studio who hasn't really done that kind of stuff before. Like
Yeah.
obviously they're going to hire people who work in that kind of type of genre of game.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to feel about it because I'm not sure where exactly it's going to go. Is it going to be the
Yeah.
same thing, or how much is going to really be new?
Yeah. Like I'm really interested in finding out. Is this going to be Fable 4? Right? Like, are they just kind of continue and try and recreate the magic of the original series, or is this going to be just something totally different? A reimagining of the game and of the franchise, of a reboot basically, where they do something like Tomb Raider, right? Where they just totally remake that entire series. It's basically nothing like those original games, and the style is different. The depth in the story is totally different. I personally, I hope it's that latter one. Like, I hope it's a reboot, because I wouldn't want to see another studio try and take on that world. And I frankly, that world was getting a little bit stale for me. I've played all the Fable games. I'm a huge Fable fan, actually. But towards the end of its life, I just felt like Lionhead always kind of let me down a little bit. Like, every game was always promised as being like, no, this is going to be the game where every decision you make is truly going to impact the whole world, and it never quite felt like they ever really got there. And kind of towards Fable 3, once they started bringing in, guns and all that kind of stuff, it kind of lost me a little bit. So I would really like to see what a new studio that was like purpose built for revitalizing that franchise could be.
Yeah, I mean that's what Lionhead was known for, those big announcements of all and promises of all these crazy things that were going to happen, and they
Yeah.
never really fulfilled them.
Yeah.
And I mean, one of the little interesting parts to the whole scenario is like what did Lionhead do at what point to get in bad water with
Right.
Microsoft? Like obviously Playground has a good relationship with Microsoft
Yeah.
and they do all that kind of stuff. So like what did they do well that Lionhead didn't, for them to just be
Right.
totally kicked off, since they were the creators of this whole series that did so well and
Yeah.
had such a good following.
Right.
So
Yeah, I mean, so it definitely stems. I think there's what did Lionhead do poorly? Like, I think something happened with Fable Legends. I mean, Fable Legends was this 4v1 asynchronous game where kind of in the where basically the four players that are playing co-op are kind of dungeon crawling, and they're your typical kind of Fable heroes. And then you had this top-down kind of more strategy type game that the fifth player is playing on. I think it was supposed to be like on a tablet, or at least it had a different view. It was a top-down view where you're kind of like the dungeon master. You're the boss, and so you're spawning enemies and setting traps and trying to take down all the heroes, and kind of altering their experience as they play through the dungeon. So it was a cool idea, and that game got so far into its life. I mean, that game was, I mean, I think it was like supposed to come out that year. I think it was a few months from release, and or at least it looked like it was a few months from release based on the things that they were showing and what they were talking about. And then to just all of a sudden say, never mind, we're not releasing this game anymore. And then on top of that, by the way, we're shutting down the studio. Just kind of blows my mind. And a lot of the people actually, the developers, in this Eurogamer article, the developers, they have these interviews where the developers saying, hey, we had planned on making Fable 4. Like, that was going to be the next game after Fable Legends, was going to be Fable 4. So to take that away from them is just, I don't know, like something horrible must have happened there. And or maybe it was a financial thing and it just didn't make sense to keep the studio open, and given the perceived failure that Fable Legends was going to be. I don't know. It's definitely a tough one. And then obviously you had Playground Studios that several months ago, it was leaked that through basically some job postings on their website that they were planning on ramping up on a new game, and they had described it as an action RPG open world game. So I think this is basically something where, hey, they were going to work on this new game anyways, and Microsoft maybe kind of saw their pitch and liked it, and they said, hey, well, now we got this Fable franchise sitting around, so why don't we just give you that IP, and you can put the name on it, and it'll automatically sell millions of copies, whether your game sucks or not. So I don't know. It's definitely an interesting situation that I think Fable and Microsoft have kind of like found themselves in. But overall, I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what is going to come out of it.
Yeah.
Is it going to be a different game?
Right.
Like, how much are they going to try to follow in the same footsteps? Because it kind of sets that whole timeline up of, hey, somebody, Lionhead made this stuff. They were working on a lot of other stuff, and then something happened. They switched it over. How did that affect the game? How does that affect the fan base?
Yeah.
Are they going to be satisfied with what they produce, or are they going to say, hey, you guys, you took something that we liked, that we really enjoyed, and you made it completely something else. You slapped the IP on it,
That's
thinking
true.
that everybody would just jump on it, and maybe they don't really deliver in that aspect.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's definitely something pretty interesting to watch.
Right.
So
yeah, and then I think the only other point on this is that just to bring up why Microsoft has this sudden interest and why they would be willing to kind of jump back in on this IP less than 2 years after they shut down Lionhead Studios is the Eurogamer article is also cited as saying that at least part of the inspiration behind this new game is the success of Horizon Zero Dawn on PS4, which is a phenomenal game, and I know you haven't played it. Definitely recommend it to you. But giant robot dinosaurs, but huge open world action. I guess kind of RPG elements to it, and a tremendous story, just a really really good story, and no multiplayer aspects at all. And I think Microsoft kind of saw that huge success, those 3-4 million copies that game sold, and they're like, we need to get in on that. Like obviously that market is there. If we could just make the right game that really appeals to people, then we can get those people too. And Microsoft is hurting for games right now, for exclusive games. So I think this could be a big one, and I don't think it's gonna come out till the end of 2019, probably 2020 at the earliest, because we know this game is like very very early development, and that like the article says that they basically haven't even started dev on it yet at this point. So I'm thinking another 3 years probably for a big AAA game like that, but I'm excited to see where it goes.
Yeah, me too. I mean, hopefully it comes to PC too, so I can play it, because I don't have an Xbox. So.
I think for sure. I think it'll be an Xbox/PC, game. Just like I think pretty much all of Microsoft published games at this point, they're really pushing hard on kind of just the whole Xbox/Windows ecosystem as kind of one thing now. So I think there's no I think it will definitely. There's no questions. Like it will definitely be on PC. So um, that's it on Fable, you guys. Let us know what you think. Are you excited about this? Are you pissed off that they took this game away from Lionhead? Are you worried that it won't be anything like the Fable games from the past? Or are you excited that maybe this won't be anything like the Fable games of the past and that it could be a fresh reboot? Give us your thoughts and comments in the comment section below.